Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Gadi, Schwartz, coming to you from Los Angeles. And here are the stories we're watching tonight. All charges have been dropped against Alec Baldwin in the tragic shooting on the set of the movie Rust less than 2 weeks before that case was set to go to trial. And a deadly storm rips through Oklahoma, killing at least 3 people, and the threat of more bad weather is on the way. Officials are saying more people are in danger. A 4th and 5th suspect have now been arrested in connection with that deadly mass shooting at a Sweet 16 birthday party in Alabama. And the largest rocket ever built and ever launched explodes minutes after takeoff. Doesn't stop the celebration.
Everything after clearing the tower was icing on the cake.
We're going to tell you exactly why SpaceX is calling that a success, and we're going to introduce you to a group of moms who are dealing with the stress of parenting by microdosing magic mushrooms.
Generally speaking, for most people, keeps it subperceptual so that you're never feeling the hallucinogenic or any sort of effects, like full body effects of, like, quote unquote, being high.
And tonight, communities in Oklahoma are reeling after another round of deadly tornadoes. And unfortunately, more storms are on the way right now. We're going to get to that in just a bit. But first, look at what happened in Oklahoma, where at least 3 people were killed. Tornadoes flattening buildings in Cole and Shawnee, even hitting a Baptist university. Miraculously, no one was hurt there.
Last night, OBU campus experienced the worst natural disaster in its 113-year history. What I'm very happy to report is we have no reported injuries and no reported fatalities. And, you know, where I'm from, that's kind of hallelujah territory.
Now, here is a staggering statistic we learned today. So far, we have seen more tornado deaths this year than all of last year. 23 people were killed last year by tornadoes. This year, that number is 66, and it is only April. And joining us now from Oklahoma is NBC News correspondent Katie Beck. Katie, what have you seen out there today?
Well, Gadi, the devastation here in Cole, Oklahoma is unbelievable. Homes and businesses absolutely upended and destroyed. People here are still really assessing what was lost overnight and really starting to just sort of make a plan about where they're going to sleep tonight and how they're going to feed themselves and how they're going to take care of their animals. All of those things are sort of trying to be worked out right now as people handle the shock and the grief of the great loss that has happened here. The National Weather Service classifying this as an EF3 tornado, extremely powerful storm system that moved through this area and really upended homes entirely. We talked to one resident today who recounted putting a mattress over him and 4 other family members as the house literally was turned upside down several times afterwards. And after the walls had caved in on them, he started sort of calling their names to see where everyone was. They were all scattered in different places and miraculously made it out with just some bumps and bruises. But we have been hearing those stories of survival throughout the day from folks here on the ground in Cole.
What a terrifying story. I've been seeing a lot of reports of damage at Oklahoma Baptist University. What do we know about what happened there?
Well, that is just about 40 miles from where we are, and they sustained a significant amount of damage at that university as well. The university president getting out today, though, and saying this was what he called a hallelujah moment. He said no one was injured and no one was killed, and that the damage is sort of expected in this region. He expects these types of threats to occur, but having the outcome that they had, having no losses and no people injured, was simply a miracle in his eyes.
And Katie, these towns, they are in Tornado Alley. I know you can never prepare for something like this, but do you think people were as ready as they could have been?
I think so. I think they live with this threat, especially in the months of May and June, which are the highest peak season for tornadoes. We haven't even reached that season yet, which is incredible because of the activity we've been seeing. But I did speak to one young man who told me he was working at an ice cream store when this threat came through. And he said all of the employees in the ice cream store crowded into the freezer and closed the door for safety. So hearing that, I do sort of think there is a culture here of get to safety, get somewhere where you know you can be protected and try your best to weather the storm. They know this is the risk they live with, but it's still an uncomfortable one, and it doesn't always have the outcome they hope.
taking shelter in a freezer. Wild. NBC's Katie Beck, thanks so much.
Thanks.
And let's bring in NBC News meteorologist Bill Cairns. Bill, how active is this weather threat that's going on right now?
Very serious. We don't have like a large tornado on the ground that's like destroying anything, but we have a lot of strong thunderstorms that are causing significant damage. I've zoomed in here. This is San Antonio, and this is being swallowed up by a very strong thunderstorm. It's not a tornado warning, what we call a severe thunderstorm warning, and they're saying that this has at least 2-inch diameter hail in it. So 2 inches or above is called significant hail, and this is purple. That's where the hail is. That's going right over the top of downtown San Antonio. So they're warning people, if you get caught out in that, you'll get injured. If your pets are caught in that, they get injured. You'll get windshields and cars. I mean, this could be like a huge $1 million, maybe even billion-dollar disaster if it's as bad as it could be. A huge hailstorm over a metropolitan area. Just think about all the car damage. Yeah, it could be ugly. So we'll update that, and we'll see how that bad it gets in the next half hour or so. Chicago's also, the south side of town is under a severe thunderstorm warning. That's for damaging wind gusts, not so much hail. Maybe down to the south of here, a little stronger cell there. But Chicago, another half hour or so, then you're in the all clear. And we still have this line of storms that goes from Chicago, St. Louis, so you look like you've lucked out. Most of the bad weather's been to your south and north, but Little Rock just had a strong line of storms go through, and it looks like Shreveport, that's right over the, Texarkana, right over the top of you, should get to Shreveport a little later this evening. Same goes for you in the Houston area. It looks like about midnight or so, the strongest storms for you. These watches do extend for another hour or two, and we'll probably get new ones here as the evening goes on. And again, there was about 39 million people that are in this area of severe weather for tonight. And here's that area of greatest concern for that 2-inch diameter hail, and it's coming true, unfortunately, right over the top of a major metropolitan area there in San Antonio. And Gadi, in case you're wondering, it does quiet down a little bit tomorrow. Isolated severe from this storm system in Louisiana, Mississippi. And then Saturday, we're going to watch the southeast coastal sections from Savannah, Brunswick, Georgia, northwards, Charleston, Myrtle Beach to Wilmington, the New Bern, the Outer Banks. We could have some gusty winds and small hail there, but nothing like what we saw yesterday and nothing like what we're seeing right now.
And Bill, I can't stop thinking about that tornado death stat. Do you know why this year has been so much more deadly than last year?
Last year was actually quiet. We typically average about 60 to 70 fatalities per year. Here's the graphic that will actually show you all this. So the tornado count is very high. Right now we're at 560. That's third highest on record. Now these records only started in the early 90s, so it's not like we have a huge period of record. But the 66 tornado-related fatalities, that's about 3 times what we had last year. We'd like to think with technology and getting the warnings now on your phones that we're letting people know more. So here's the 66 this year. We had 23 in 22. We did have 103 in 2021, but 82 of those were in November of that year from one tornado outbreak. 76, 41, in 2018 we only had 10 and 35. So we're at a pace that would probably top 2021, which is not what we want. We'd like to think that we're better than that with forecasting, but when you get strong tornadoes, if you're not in a good structure, you can die. And unfortunately, we've seen that the last couple of days and earlier this spring.
And Bill, a reminder that tornadoes can happen all the way through November, December. Yeah. Thanks so much. Yeah. And some breaking news out of Washington tonight. President Biden is set to make an official re-election bid next week. Sources tell NBC News it could possibly come as soon as Tuesday. Now, this isn't the biggest surprise since Biden has made his intention to run for re-election pretty clear a few times now. But once this happens, it officially means we could see a Biden-Trump face-off again in 2024. Biden would be 82 years old if he won. Trump would be 78. And moving on to space news, it was a big test day today for SpaceX's mission to Mars. It was a gigantic, uncrewed Starship rocket that lifted off from a launch pad in South Texas, but only a few minutes later, it blew up. Now, you'd think the reaction back at headquarters would be devastation, but not so much. It appears to be a big success.
I do want to remind everyone that everything after clearing the tower was icing on the cake.
Icing on the cake if you've got a sparkler, maybe. SpaceX founder Elon Musk liked what he saw. He tweeted his congratulations to the SpaceX crew and that he learned a lot for the next test launch in a few months. Now, this was the largest vehicle built by humans to ever fly under its own power. And before liftoff, Musk said it might take a few tries before the rocket actually enters orbit. That would be another huge step in the ultimate goal, which is to get us to Mars. NBC's Stephanie Gosk has more.
If you watched today's SpaceX test launch, you'd be forgiven for looking at it and thinking it was a failure. Actually, what they're saying is that it was a success, and it is all about learning lessons for the future. SpaceX's Starship, the brainchild of billionaire Elon Musk, had liftoff.
What a sight when the green cameras exploded.
And then the uncrewed flight had some problems.
It does appear to be spinning, but
This was supposed to be the moment the spacecraft separated from the Super Heavy booster.
Starship just experienced what we call a rapid unscheduled disassembly.
What is an unscheduled disassembly? Because it kind of looked like an explosion.
Rapid unscheduled disassembly is the SpaceX code for very large explosion.
But even so, this was not a failure for SpaceX.
And even getting a few minutes of flight like they did is incredible progress for them, purely on the basis of the data that they're going to receive from that flight.
Musk's company has its eyes on eventually sending people to the moon and Mars. SpaceX is working with a $3 billion NASA contract. There have been some dramatic explosions. But today, the NASA administrator congratulated the company. Every great achievement throughout history has demanded some level of calculated risk, he wrote, because with great risk comes great reward. Musk spoke about risk with NBC News in 2021.
Space is risky. One other thing else, I just want to make sure we do everything possible to maximize the safety of the crew.
Musk says valuable lessons will be learned from today. Another test launch is scheduled in a few months. SpaceX told the FAA that its autonomous flight termination system worked like it was supposed to. In other words, it blew itself up. Back to you.
Stephanie Gosk, thanks so much. And some developing news out of New Mexico. Criminal charges against actor Alec Baldwin have been dropped. Baldwin was facing 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter for the death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins. And its timing of this, it's really striking. Baldwin was set to resume filming Rust in Montana just this week. Joining us now is NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalos. Danny, I got to say, it seemed like this case was slowly imploding before all of our eyes. What finally happened here?
Yeah, I'm on the record for I told you so on this one from months ago.
And I'm normally, by imploding, I mean it was all you. Yep.
And I apologize for being so aggressive about it, but I'm so rarely right that this one just felt so gratifying. Because, look, you didn't need to be even much of a lawyer or be schooled in the law to know that in terms of blaming someone for this tragic accident, there was probably blame to go all around. But Alec Baldwin, I mean, this prosecution against him sputtered from the start. Consider, for example, that they charged Alec Baldwin after a year of investigating this case. They charged him with 2 counts. One of those counts they had to dismiss on their own because it was unconstitutional. Now, you would think that somebody would crack open a book in the year that they investigated the case and see if they were actually charging Baldwin with a statute that applied, and they didn't. From the beginning, this appeared to be amateur hour, and I don't say that lightly. I hate to criticize other lawyers, other prosecutors, but I think other prosecutors often get a bad rap for prosecuting the innocent. And so I bet even prosecutors out there tonight are like, thank goodness, this is the kind of thing that gives us a bad name.
So next question, why are prosecutors still pursuing charges against Hannah Gutierrez-Reed?
A couple of reasons. She's the easier case to make. She was the armorer. She did have responsibility for the firearms in a way that Alec Baldwin simply never had a responsibility for the firearms. He was the actor. He trusts other people to hand him props. And those props he expects will not be a real ninja sword or a real firearm or a real grenade or real TNT. So in trusting the armorer or whoever else, there is a case still to be made with the armorer. However, don't be surprised if in several months from now, quietly, she makes her way into a courthouse and pleads guilty to a lesser charge. Because now that all the excitement and the cameras are gone and the big celebrity defendant is gone, I don't know that the prosecutors in this case still have the heart to really take this case to trial. And if they do, they're taking it against somebody who simply doesn't have the resources of Baldwin. And that isn't something that's too impressive either, in my mind.
How much of a bearing do you think that this is going to have in civil court?
Very little. I mean, the cases against Alec Baldwin have either been settled or they are pending. A criminal conviction would have been fantastic for the civil cases because criminal convictions are beyond a reasonable doubt. Civil cases, you only need a preponderance of evidence. So anytime there's a criminal case and a potential civil case, civil lawyers, and I've done this, you sit back and you wait for the criminal case to end. You let the state do the discovery for you. You collect up all that evidence and you use it in your civil case. They won't have that opportunity now, but I don't think that affects the outcome or the way they're going to litigate the case, because they probably, like everyone else watching this case, had a feeling, like I did months ago, that this case would never go to a criminal trial.
Danny Savalos, right as usual. Danny, thanks so much. And this next story proves how some quick thinking and kindness stopped a bad situation from becoming something so much worse. NBC's Ann Thompson tells us how a dad and daughter were rescued after their jet ski sank in Tampa.
No, I don't see his. Oh my God, I hear him. Daylight was all but gone. We're coming! When on this Florida lake, a miraculous find. A father and daughter pulled to safety about an hour after their jet ski sunk. Their rescue captured on a deputy's body cam.
I'm going to pull you by your vest, okay?
A sunset ride on Saturday night in Baker Creek Park, northeast of Tampa, nearly tragic, when 31-year-old Christopher Snow and his 13-year-old daughter Alexis suddenly hit trouble. Alexis explained to her rescuers,
The
jet ski sunk under the water. Snow's girlfriend worried when she couldn't reach the pair. She told Hillsborough County Sheriff's Deputy Kevin Reich, who was on patrol. He enlisted the help of Samantha Jo Conover and her family's boat.
It was nerve-wracking for all of us.
The team went out to find the two.
I don't think I'd ever could be able to get it out of my mind, the screams I heard from her.
Once on the boat, the two were visibly exhausted.
A little bit.
We're tired. The moral of this story, says the sheriff, always wear your life jacket.
If this father and his teenage daughter wouldn't have been wearing life jackets, this would be a totally different outcome.
Thanks to those life vests and teamwork, the father-daughter duo is safe.
It was amazing. Like, I cried. I held my husband. I cried. We would do it 1,000 times again.
And still ahead this hour, preparing for a possible evacuation. The U.S. is putting plans in place to get U.S. citizens out of Sudan as fighting rages on. Welcome back. There is a lot of news making headlines around the world, and we're going to bring it to you in 80 seconds. Today, a stampede in Yemen killed almost 80 people and hurt dozens of others in the country's capital, and it happened on one of the holiest days of the year for Muslims. Hundreds of people had gathered there for Eid, the final day of Ramadan, and officials say the crowd crush might have been because of a lack of organization and coordination. As a bloody battle rages on in Sudan, the U.S. is trying to get its people out of there. The Pentagon is reportedly moving troops and equipment to a naval base in the neighboring country of Djibouti, and they're trying to figure out the best way to evacuate the U.S. embassy in Sudan. Now, the news comes just a few days after a U.S. embassy convoy was attacked in Khartoum, the country's capital. And in Kyiv, hundreds of people are confused after a mysterious bright flash lit up the sky last night. Kyiv authorities say that some unidentified object fell from the sky around 10 o'clock local time, forcing an air alert in that area. And while we really don't know what it is, one thing is for sure: for a city that is used to airstrikes and Russian missiles, they are certainly taking it in stride. One of Zelensky's top officials even posting a UFO emoji. And speaking of Ukraine, the country's top prosecutor testified in front of Congress yesterday, alleging that his office has registered around 80,000 potential war crimes since the invasion last February. That includes rape, torture, and waterboarding. Meanwhile, NATO's Secretary General visited Kyiv for the first time since that war broke out. And NBC's Allison Barber has the latest.
NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg visited Kyiv today. The unannounced trip marked the first time the Secretary General has stepped foot in this country since Russia launched its full-scale invasion in February last year. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says that they see this visit as a sign that the alliance is ready to start a new chapter in relations with Ukraine. He told the Secretary General it is time for NATO to offer Ukraine a membership and asked for more weapons. The NATO chief said this trip was intended to send a message that NATO stands with Ukraine, quote, today, tomorrow, and for as long as it takes.
Let me be clear. Ukraine's rightful place is in the Euro-Atlantic family. Ukraine's rightful place is in NATO. And over time, our support will help you make this possible.
Ukraine announced a fast-track bid for NATO membership back in September. It's something Russia strongly opposes. Today, a spokesperson for Russian President Vladimir Putin was asked if preventing Ukraine's participation in NATO is still a goal of this war, what Russia calls a special military operation. His answer: definitely. The spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, went on to say that it is important, they believe, for Russia's security moving forward. Reporting in Kyiv, Ukraine, Allison Barber, NBC News.
And tonight, a group of investigative reporters say Russia has plans to sabotage critical energy and internet facilities off of northern Europe. And in a tense showdown, those reporters approached an apparent Russian spy ship suspected of mapping out that region. NBC's Tom Costello has that story.
Hey, Gadi, very dramatic video out of Denmark. A very interesting collaborative investigative reporter unit that makes up reporters from Denmark and Sweden, Norway and Finland coming together and reporting that, in fact, all of their intelligence sources say that the Russians had been mapping out where all of the undersea internet cables are, the gas platforms, the pipelines, and now the wind farms off the coast of Scandinavia. All of that is critical infrastructure, providing power, providing heat for European homes, and the internet runs 95% of the global internet traffic, all of it vulnerable. And their sources now suggesting that, in fact, the Russians have been mapping it all out to sabotage it in the event of any kind of armed conflict. This is exactly what we saw when we were on a NATO patrol a month ago. But I want you to listen to what happened when these Danish reporters on a boat got very close to that alleged Russian spy ship.
I hope this is being recorded. We are just a few hundred meters away from Vladimirsky. We're filming everything on the ship. We're filming antennas, as we've been told by the source. I can see crew members walking around on the deck. I think they're watching us. There's two men staring at us. Wow, they're looking at us. This is really a strange situation. Almost a tense situation. They're looking at us.
Some tense moments indeed, and as you saw, it appears that those Russians on board the ship had AK-47s. This is all in agreement with what other intelligence agencies have said, and now the British Defense Minister is saying that the Russian sub-activity in British waters has picked up, and it seems unusual. And that's what the admiral with the Norwegian Navy told us when we were there a month ago. Unusual Russian sub-activity coming out of their bases in the north in Murmansk and then coming down the west coast, if you will, of Norway and then out into the Atlantic. They believe that Russia is trying to stage all of its operations in the event that there is conflict, war with the West. And these are critical pieces of the Western global economy. If Russia were to strike these energy infrastructure pieces or the internet, we would have serious, serious problems. We're going to go in depth on this on our documentary, but Gadi, it is a very significant case of high stakes in the high north. Back to you.
Looking forward to that documentary. Thanks so much. And coming up, gas is in short supply in Florida. We're going to tell you why people have to wait hours just to fill up. But first, you got to see this. All that record-breaking California snowpack is starting to melt away. And check out these satellite pictures. They show just how much of that snow has already melted. Mountain snow levels are still more than twice their usual, and those shrinking white peaks mean that flooding could be a danger throughout the entire year. We're going to be right back. Thanks for joining us. We are 30 minutes past the hour, so let's get you caught up in 30 seconds. Tonight, millions of Americans are under severe weather alerts, and just last night, 3 people were killed in Oklahoma after tornadoes tore through the state. Charges have been dropped against Alec Baldwin in the shooting on the Rust film set that left cinematographer Helena Hutchins dead. And the movie has resumed filming today in Montana. And today's SpaceX's historic launch ended with an explosion. The biggest rocket ever made, which did not have a crew on board, is designed for future missions to the moon and eventually Mars. SpaceX says anything that far off the ground is a success. And tonight, the White House is defending what they are calling the independence of the Justice Department's investigation into Hunter Biden's taxes, insisting that that case is, in their words, free from any political interference. Meanwhile, an IRS agent involved in that investigation is now asking for whistleblower protection. Here's NBC's Hallie Jackson.
New NBC News reporting tonight on the potential criminal charges federal prosecutors have considered against the president's son. 3 tax crimes and a charge related to a gun purchase, according to 2 sources familiar with the matter. But after a years-long investigation, no charges have been brought. And now, a new allegation the president's son is getting preferential treatment. In a new letter to Congress, an IRS special agent is asking for whistleblower protection, citing his work in a high-profile case. But a source familiar with the matter, who also verified the letter's authenticity, confirms it is the Hunter Biden investigation.
He would never forgive himself if he just sat there and said nothing.
Why should people believe that your client is not motivated by political considerations in coming forward here?
In terms of credibility, he's willing to be cross-examined. He's willing to be tested. He has documents that support some of the assertions he wants to make.
The agent has allegedly seen clear conflicts of interest and preferential treatment and politics improperly infecting decisions. Last month, the Attorney General making this pledge about the case, overseen by a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney in Delaware.
It's not restricted in his investigation in any way.
2 senior law enforcement officials describing to NBC News growing frustration inside the FBI because federal investigators finished the bulk of their work about a year ago and suspect political interference is delaying the process.
Apparently, it's about the Department of Justice having a bias here.
We surely are curious to see if this is being slow-walked.
No comment from the Justice Department or IRS, but the White House says the president's keeping an appropriate distance.
He believes in the rule of law. He believes in the independence of the Justice Department.
Hunter Biden shadowed by a series of Republican-led investigations, with his attorney saying it appears this IRS agent has committed a crime by sharing private tax information and had denied my client protections that are his right.
There is a means for whistleblowers to come forward and still to protect the rights of individual taxpayers. And that's what's happening here. I think any kind of attacks on him personally is unfortunate.
The agent's attorney says his client is not partisan and is insistent on speaking to both Democrats and Republicans if he does end up testifying.
Remember that crazy storm that just sat over South Florida and dumped like 2 feet of rain in a single 24-hour period? Well, 1 week later, and the aftermath has caused all kinds of problems with the area's fuel supply, with drivers having to wait hours just to get to the pump. And on Tuesday, more than half of all gas stations in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area were out of gas. Let's bring in NBC News' Gadi Venegas. Gadi, so how exactly did flooding cause a fuel shortage there?
Gadi, so much of the fuel in South Florida comes from Port Everglades. That's in the area that was flooded last week. So over the weekend, we had shortages in South Florida because that wasn't functioning properly, right? So the trucks that usually go there to fill up with the fuel and then go to the different gas stations were not coming out of that area. It was closed for almost 2 days. So that started that original shortage. Then the news spread with drivers that there was a shortage in gas, and people began going to the gas stations and panic buying. This is what a lot of the owners of gas stations have been saying. So you had 2 things. First, the original shortage, and then as some of the gas did begin to get distributed and that port began operating again, there was just too many customers going to the pumps, according to some of the owners. Here's part of a conversation that I had with a gas station owner here and also someone that came to fill up their tank.
The problem is simply because of buying panic.
There was never a shortage. It's just a delay, and a person who would be buying 5 gallons is buying 10 gallons. And people who are filling up a quarter now filling up a 3/4. So there was never a shortage.
Okay, Gadi, now here's where it gets interesting. We've been here all day today. Now, we understand that the trucks are taking longer to get out, but they are distributing gas, and it's almost back to normal at the port. Yet, we have not seen lines today. We saw normal operations, but if you can see behind me, it's empty. That's because they ran out of gas. In fact, all the gas stations in this area in Doral, Florida, at least the ones in this general area, I went around, there's about 8 of them. They're all shut down because there's no gas. So there's something going on where, although we didn't have lines here today and also at the one down the street, they did run out of gas. So do they have less gas than they normally would operate with? According to the owner, they've been selling more gas than usual because of the panic buying, but we did not see those long lines. So there's a lot of questions as people are trying to be patient, and most of the public has been listening to this, the issue with the panic buying, and a lot of people have been holding off until they really need to come get gas. But really, there's a lot of questions. If you look at Gas Buddy, their information indicates that about half of gas stations in the Miami and Fort Lauderdale area, just less than half, still don't have gas. So there is a lot of questions, but when it comes to it, we're out in the streets, and we are seeing a lot of gas stations like this one that no longer has gas today. Gadi.
Yeah, so just to recap, a lot of people are saying there's no fuel shortage, and yet the gas station right behind you, there's no gas.
Exactly. So we have the owner of this gas station this morning telling us that there wasn't a shortage, that the issue in the past had been that too many panic buyers came to buy gas, but we were here all day and we didn't see long lines. We saw a busy gas station that for moments was not even that busy, and they shut down this afternoon because they no longer have gas here. So something's going on where they don't have enough gas to sell what looked like a normal day, and the same thing happened down the street. So you still have, according to Gas Buddy, about half of the gas stations in Miami and Fort Lauderdale without gas. So, you know, we're just going to have to wait and see if the port being back up to its normal operations will then make it easier for the trucks to distribute this gas, and hopefully soon enough everything here will go back to normal. Gadi.
Yeah, hopefully that goes back to normal soon. Guad Venegas, thanks so much. And could the so-called green revolution affect how and where we do our jobs? The climate crisis is changing how we live and maybe how we work. A lot of companies are starting to look for people with green skills, and more workers are wanting to know what their future bosses are going to do to fight climate change. NBC's Brian Chung explains.
In Seattle, architect Kristen Scott helped design the sustainable building she works in, called the Watershed.
When we were designing the building, it was very much a goal of ours to improve what we could around our site.
In order to be considered a living building by the city, the developer met a series of requirements. No toxic materials during construction, at least a quarter less in energy use compared to a typical building, and at least half of the stormwater collected on site to be reused throughout the building. Why go through all this?
Well, I think the most important reason to go through it is that it's really prioritizing health and well-being of all of us, not only the people working in the building, but beyond the building.
One of the benefits of the Watershed's sustainable design, attracting workers increasingly eager to work for a business that cares about the environment. Those workers, according to a new LinkedIn Green Jobs report, are reskilling as the demand for green jobs in fields like renewable energy explodes. A notable trend in an economy where overall job postings fell 14% in the past year, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
You go on LinkedIn today, 18%, nearly 1 in 5 of job postings on our platform in the United States is looking for green skills.
Carbon accounting up 233%, measuring drinking water quality growing by almost 190%, and energy engineering up 179%. All the while, LinkedIn says, job seekers are engaging more with companies on their green initiatives on the platform.
We see much more activity amongst our customers and companies who are putting out content about what their climate commitments are, what their goals are, what their roadmap to getting there is.
According to a recent poll, 80% of Americans from households that earn $100,000 a year or more say it's extremely important for businesses to prioritize sustainability practices. And 76% say it's much more important than it was 5 years ago. Down the street from the Watershed, Brooks Running Company says it's crucial to their business model.
We recognize as a brand that makes outdoor product that it's imperative that we take action to reduce our contribution to the impacts on the planet.
The company's headquarters are just one part of the company's efforts to reduce emissions and waste.
We were looking for a new home. Sustainability was an important lens in that decision. So when we have a building like this that has these sustainability features that are ever present during the workday, that just flows through into everything else that they're doing and make sure that they're taking the part to achieve our sustainability targets.
Thanks so much, Brian. And coming up, you might have to switch to M&Ms because Skittles and Sour Patch Kids could be taken off the shelves here in California. We're going to explain. Plus, it is 420. But instead of weed, we are talking mushrooms. Tonight's report is on the growing trend of moms microdosing, and for very good reasons. Stay tuned. And here are some of the other headlines we're watching tonight. The Coast Guard calling off the search for 3 American sailors missing at sea for more than 2 weeks. More than 200,000 square nautical miles have been searched, and the 44-foot boat set sail from Mexico headed to San Diego on April 4th. A nearly 2-day-long standoff in Minnesota has come to a peaceful end. Police say they saw someone on Tuesday who looked like the suspect with his 2-year-old son, and that man took off, shot at police, then barricaded himself in an apartment with that little boy. 43 hours later, it was safely resolved. And soon, Californians might not be able to taste the rainbow. The State Assembly Committee voted to approve a bill that would ban ingredients found in popular candies like Skittles and Sour Patch Kids. If that bill becomes law, it would prevent the manufacture of any food product that includes those chemicals. And House Republicans voted today to ban trans athletes from female sports teams. And schools that violate that would risk losing taxpayer dollars. But that bill has an extremely low chance of getting through the Democratic-controlled Senate. And 5 suspects in total are now in custody for a shooting at that Sweet 16 party in Alabama that left 4 people dead and dozens hurt. Each was charged with 4 counts of reckless murder. And on this unofficial national holiday for a lot of people, 420, longtime stoner Woody Harrelson headed to Capitol Hill to talk cannabis reform.
If you ask the average person, people don't think you should have some kind of criminal result from the use of marijuana, you know? Even if people don't want to smoke it, they don't necessarily want to see you go to jail. And I do think that the thing that needs to happen now is decriminalization.
And another drug that is also illegal on the federal level, magic mushrooms. But as some states begin to allow the legal and recreational use of psilocybin, some moms are using it to help with anxiety and depression. NBC's Mara Barrett has more.
Tracy T is an entrepreneur, a comedian, and above all else, a mom. She spends most mornings getting her daughter ready for school, dropping her off, making meals, taking a microdose of psilocybin, doing household chores, working. Did you catch that? Let's rewind here. Yep. Every few days, Tracy takes a small microdose of magic mushrooms and goes about her day.
I'm not high. Nobody is high. That is not what microdosing is about.
Magic mushrooms, or psilocybin rituals, go back thousands of years. But now, a number of states in the U.S. are starting to decriminalize psilocybin as the ubiquity of microdosing spreads across the country. But what exactly is microdosing? And how does it differ from this?
I'm starting to feel weird. I'm freaking out, man.
Harvard Health says it can be defined as approximately 1/5 to 1/20th of a recreational dose, or about 0.3 grams.
Generally speaking, for most people, keeps it subperceptual so that you're never feeling the hallucinogenic or any sort of effects, like full body effects of, like, quote unquote, being high.
Tracy started microdosing during the pandemic when she says her comedy business crumbled and her anxiety was at an all-time high.
I was 45 years old at the time, never ever did drugs. So no one was more surprised than me to be interested in psilocybin. When I started microdosing, my life just kind of went like this. I just sort of felt compelled to share this medicine with mothers.
That's when Tracy began Moms on Mushrooms, or MOM for short. She offers several microdosing courses to interested moms and has helped establish a large online community to connect people all across the country.
What do you think it says about our culture that this is something that moms are seeking out?
We are stressed out. We are overwhelmed. We are disconnected.
Mothers were hit especially hard by the pandemic. A recent study of over 11,000 moms found that roughly 73% experienced major disruptions and high levels of stress because of the pandemic. Many of them working moms.
I was tired and I was burned out and I was grumpy.
To manage her stress, Brittany Wilson first tried a mood stabilizer, which she says helped, but it also says it eliminated her day-to-day joys. That's when she turned to microdosing.
And you've been microdosing now for a year.
Yes.
What benefits have you experienced?
By using psilocybin on a consistent basis at a very low level, it has given me a foundation from which I can manage those stresses in a way that I wasn't able to before. And it's almost a feeling of grounding.
But even though a lot of people say microdosing has benefited them, Dr. Matt Johnson says the science can't back it up just yet.
Just because the studies haven't proven that microdosing can help with these disorders doesn't mean that that's not true. My best guess is that some people are reporting very real effects and in terms of it helping them in different ways. But I think for other people and maybe in other ways, it's largely placebo.
Through her own experience with psilocybin, Tracy believes it can be an alternative to some traditional medications.
I think SSRIs are amazing, groundbreaking medicine. I don't necessarily think that they're for everyone either. I see this as a generation saying goodbye to mommy's little helper. I see this as a generation stepping into her power and her own autonomy and sovereignty as a whole woman, as a whole person, and saying, I'm happy to be here.
Thanks, Mara. Right now, psychedelic mushrooms are legal in Colorado and Oregon and have been decriminalized in Washington, D.C. and more than a dozen other cities. Now, there's some new video that shows a fire that started in a Ford F-150 Lightning holding lot in Michigan. This video that you're seeing right there, it's from February, and it was obtained by CNBC, and it shows a ton of smoke coming up from 3 electric pickups. It also shows the moment police showed up.
Let's hope it doesn't blow up. The smoke is clear as day. Is this about to explode?
It already is shooting over there.
Now, here's the thing. That fire quickly prompted Ford to stop production of the new pickup for 5 weeks. Ford says the fire was caused by a battery issue, all of it coming as EV fires are becoming more and more of a concern to automakers and first responders. Turning now to the fascinating world of aqua farming. It is an innovative, sustainable way that raises both native seafood and also helps fight climate change. NBC's Al Roker takes us there.
In oceans from the Pacific to the Atlantic, a new blue technique is taking hold. It's called aquaculture, and it's combating overfishing, climate change, and saving many endangered species. When you talk about aquaculture, why are you so heavily investing in that?
We import about 90% of the seafood that we consume in the United States, so this helps put people to work in a way that helps sustain ourselves.
Rafael Castellanos runs the Port of San Diego's pilot Blue Economy program. That includes 2 aquaculture farms, underwater farming for sustainable seafood and shellfish.
We were looking for new and innovative ways to solve some of the big environmental challenges that we're facing.
The port works with NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, to help farmers like Tori Polizzi, owner of Sunken Seaweed. So, Tori, when I think about a farm, I don't think about seeing 6 buoys floating on the water. What is this?
What we're doing here is testing the feasibility of different seaweed species that can be scaled up in Southern California. Underneath the surface where these buoys are, I just have a frame and it has lines going across it. There are like so many applications of seaweed. I focus on food. I like feeding people.
And that's exactly what he did. Tori and renowned San Diego chef Jojo Ruiz prepared a meal of fresh, local aquaculture cuisine. Abalone, an endangered native shellfish, now being grown here at the port.
Yeah, of course he did.
Right. And seaweed direct from Tori's farm.
I mean, it's kind of like eating frisee, except it's salty.
Seaweed production has increased globally by nearly 75% over the past decades. And in the U.S., seaweed farming is the fastest growing aquaculture crop.
Aquaculture farms like this one are the sustainable wave of the future from coast to coast.
I met up with Norm Bloom, who took me out to his farm on Long Island Sound.
You're an oyster farmer. How did you get the idea, hey, sugar kelp?
The state started talking about it, and they were, well, let's make it go.
It sounds like, in a way, you're almost ahead of the market idea.
Well, first we got to prove we can grow it.
Right. And how's that been going?
That's good.
Sugar kelp, like Tory's seaweed, can also be used in food, cosmetics, or as potential biofuels.
It's a new and emerging industry.
The kelp harvested here at Copp's Island is staying all in the family, used in a cosmetics line designed by third-generation farmer Jeannie Bloom.
Does that feel somewhat satisfying that, you're kind of continuing in a way your family's legacy?
Yeah, definitely. I love merging the two together, and if it's good for the environment, it's good for you.
Al Roker, NBC News.
And before we go, remember when you were in elementary school or maybe middle school and you were learning cursive and then all of a sudden, bam, you're supposed to decide what your signature is for the rest of your life? I was not ready for that. Well, fortunately, there's such a thing as a signature artist who can help rehab that chicken scratch when you sign your name at the grocery store. We're going to introduce you to an insanely talented calligrapher, and she's got some tips for all of us.
To me, it's a portrait of your name. You have the freedom to use your name and design something that you want for yourself.
And finally, who do you turn to when your signature could use a facelift? A 27-year-old TikToker who has become the biggest name in the world of names. Her calligraphy is magic, her creativity fantastic, and her backstory on how she got started, it's a little sketchy, but in the best kind of way. Take a look at the woman behind the signature brand, Planet of Names.
John Hancock's was bold. Mozart's musical. Treasury Secretary Jack Luce was just weird. Oprah's is on brand. And Picasso's signature? Well, it's a Picasso. But what if you need a little help with yours?
On a given week, how many signatures are you working on?
I try to meet 25 a day. So
what? 25 a day?
Yeah, 25. And mind you, it's 25 orders.
Priscilla Molina is a signature coach. She runs a design business, Planet of Names, and she is big on TikTok. People pay her to turn their chicken scratch into autograph-worthy artwork.
How did you fall in love with all this?
Both of my parents had really nice signatures, and so I hate to admit this, and I don't recommend anyone doing this, but I was late to, I think I was in 6th grade, and I was late
I know where
school.
this is going.
Yeah, I didn't have a tardy slip, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to wing it. I think I can forge my mom's signature. And when I saw how easy it was to do that, I thought of my dad's, and I'm like, let me see if I can do my dad's. I was like, hey, I could probably do my friends' parents' signatures. And so from there, I just realized it just came, pretty naturally.
Wait, do your parents know that story?
So when she did. She caught on to it. But she was impressed. She's like, okay, that's not my signature, but I see
close,
that you're pretty close. It's a little scary.
So in 6th grade, you learned what you'd make your living from. From forging your mom's signature.
You know, I didn't know that, 20 years later, that's exactly what's happening.
And so 20 years later, you now have some pretty big names coming in and asking for your help. I know you're very, very secretive about who you work with.
A lot of sports people. Typically, like soccer players and basketball players are the ones that are still giving out their autographs. Authors as well. And so people that are using their autographs, and also just, other celebrities and influencers that want to have it just in case they do come across someone that would like their autograph.
Because how you sign your name can say a lot about you. And Priscilla says for a generation who never learned cursive, having a striking signature IRL helps her clients feel confident.
To me, it's a portrait of your name. You have the freedom to use your name and design something that you want for yourself.
A little nervous, I braved the wrath of her critical eye.
I am embarrassed to show you my signature. It is.
I'm looking forward to seeing
all right,
it.
ready?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
But her designs were beautiful.
It's a bit
That's
sharp.
awesome. That's awesome. Oh, you're a genius. This is
Thank you.
crazy.
And with a little practice, I was on my way.
Must be what it feels like to have a makeover. For those that are going to watch this story and they're going to realize that their signature is just trash, what's your advice to them?
Practice, I would say practice, and just have fun with it, honestly. That's what I do. I just have fun.
Priscilla, if you're watching, I am still working on my homework. Thank you so much. Time now for some of the big stories we're watching for tomorrow, including the next deadline for the Supreme Court to make the decision on a key abortion pill. The High Court now has until midnight Friday to make that ruling. Plus, actor Kevin Spacey is scheduled to appear in a London court on sexual offense charges. And we are keeping an eye on severe weather overnight in the Midwest. Nearly 40 million people are at risk of severe storms. And that does it for us tonight. I'm Gadi Schwartz. We'll see you tomorrow. But until then, stay tuned now.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.